DraftKings and signing up for the Whiskey and Wings Challenge for your chance to win cash prizes courtesy of Jack Daniels. No purchase necessary. Drinks smooth. Draft smart. Make it count.
With all the sports we have, every time of the year is the best time of the year.
Step back, three-point shot in the air, bang, it's good. James Harden for three.
On 97.3 ESPN, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
On a Monday edition of Game Night, the Sixers' second half of their double dip 2 days in a row. Night back home against the Nuggets. The Phillies continue to be imbeciles, and the Eagles, well, you either are happy with the move or you're angry because it makes Howie Roseman look good. Josh Hennig here in the Matt Black Kia Studios here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. Coming up in about 20 minutes from now, DraftKings Sportsbook Director Johnny Avello will join us to come talk about the NBA and college basketball, because tomorrow night we have the first four, and then Thursday we got all day March Madness right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. As always, you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973 on the text board, 609-403-0973. You also can DM the show, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. I got to get to the Eagles news first, because I wasn't expecting this, but I love it. Eagles have signed Hassan Reddick, former Temple guy, Camden resident. He's coming home. And this deal makes so much sense for the Eagles. Now, I understand there's a small group of you out there, you hate Howie Roseman so much that you won't be happy with anything he does until Howie is hung from a tree or whatever you think he should happen to him. Okay, I know some of you out there are just nuts like that. But the rest of us look at this situation with Hassan Reddick and you think this just makes sense. You have a guy in Reddick who fits specifically what this team needs. They need more versatile players on defense. They don't need as many guys who are limited. You know, in Jim Schwartz's defense, you have a situation where it was very hyper-specific jobs. Guys had specific responsibilities and jobs. Jonathan Gannon's defense, there's more versatility, there's more flexibility needed. And it seems like you have a situation where, if you're looking at how this team is being built, it's being built on versatility. And I think it's a big deal. I think it's very cool that they went out and not just got a local guy, but a guy that makes sense. He's top 5 in the NFL the last 2 years in sacks. He's one of only 2 players in the NFL in the last couple years with 100 tackles, 20 sacks, and 8 forced fumbles. Aaron Donald, Hassan Reddick. So I love it. I think that you're getting a guy who has production, who has value, who makes a lot of sense. And considering what other guys in the market are getting, this deal for Reddick almost looks like a steal. Christian Kirk is going to get almost $80 million by the time his contract is done. I mean, think about how ridiculous that is. What has Christian Kirk done in the NFL aside from being a good player on a good team? $39 million is guaranteed up front. And another $33 million value in the last 2 years minimum. I mean, that's a lot of money. Meanwhile, a guy in Reddick who has been more productive than Kirk has is getting a $30 million guaranteed deal for 3 years. It makes sense. They got him at the right number. They got him at the right value. And they brought the guy back who, to Philadelphia, that makes sense. This might be one of the smartest moves the Eagles have made in free agency in a long time. And I think that as the Eagles continue to build their roster, I think that it's obvious that the Eagles went to Gannon and said, what do you need to have a better defense? I'm very happy that the Eagles were not disillusioned, manipulated, tricked by what happened previously. They weren't put into this malaise thinking, oh, look how well our defense played against Trevor Siemian and Mike Glennon. No, they turned around and said, we weren't good enough. And yeah, we lost to Brady and the Bucs, but almost everyone would have lost to the Brady and the Bucs with that kind of team going into Tampa. So now you're actually getting the defense better. You're putting the defense in a position to be productive and successful on the field. And there's a lot of reports out there that Reddick is an incredible young man off the field as well. So it's a very interesting situation that they're in. Also, think about this. So Hassan Reddick was part of the 2016 Temple roster under Matt Rule. That was one of the best years Temple had in their program history. Here are the NFL players who were all on that roster at the same time. P.J. Walker's played in Carolina. Raquel Armstead from Millville. He's played in Jacksonville. Colin Thompson, regular on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, playing for the Panthers now. Keith Kirkwood, wide receiver for the Saints. Sean Bradley, Eagles linebacker. Jacob Martin, linebacker for the Texans and the Seahawks. And Hassan Reddick, all were on the team at the same time at Temple. Talk about a nice little collection of talent. By the way, another South Jersey alumni, David Hood from Absegami was on that team as well. So you had two guys from the Cape Atlantic League, two other guys from South Jersey on the roster as well. That Temple 2016 team had some talent. Whoa, man, how wild is that? So very cool that Hassan Reddick is here. On the flip side, the Phillies are imbeciles. You know, I came on the radio on Thursday and Friday, and I was not going to get too high or too excited or whatever about the situation with baseball coming back. Because I said, look, I need to see what happens first. I need to see what is going on here. And now that I see the Phillies, you know, every rumor was they could get Chris Bryant, they can get Kyle Schwarber, or they can get fill in the blank guy. And so far, they've walked out into training, spring training, with Jarius Familia, Brad Hand. They brought back Odubel Herrera. They're trying to tell us that Matt Vierling can be a starting center fielder for this team. I'm very confused. I am very perplexed. What do you think you're doing? You know, we all sat here and said, we're going to trust Dave Dombrowski. This is the guy. This is the baseball guy, right? And then the report comes out today from Matt Gill from The Athletic saying that this guy, Dombrowski, was told, I can't spend too much money. Wait a minute. What happened if we were to spend stupid money a couple of years ago? Remember Middleton said he was going to do whatever it took to win. Now, all of a sudden, 3 years later, it's, don't spend too much money. Keep that salary. Don't spend too much money. The report is from Todd Zolecki of MLB.com that the Phillies were interested in Kevin Kiermaier for their center field situation, but it was going to cost too much money. So they decided that the combination of Odubel Herrera and Matt Vierling was the best option. This is where Howie Roseman is king of the GMs in Philadelphia. And a very close number 2 is Daryl Morey. Morey hasn't been here long enough. Howie brought a Super Bowl to Philadelphia, and Morey brought us James Harden so far. You're the Phillies. Baseball is coming out of a 90-day lockout. You come back in the middle of March Madness, Sixers frenzy basketball, NFL offseason, and you can't make one home run move. Why? Why are you doing this? In what reality do you think that this is okay? I don't understand, first of all, why you think Odubel Herrera and Matt Vierling are good enough to be center field for you. Number 2, we saw Odubel Herrera play last year, and he's not the player he used to be when he was an all-star. 3, there's still a contingent of Philly fans who all they see when they see Odubel Herrera is a guy who was charged with sexual assault, who was suspended by baseball in the Phillies, and you keep bringing him back and bringing him back. Why? For what? It's absolutely an embarrassment that, according to John Heyman of MLB Network, Chris Bryant is being pursued heavily by the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies! The Rockies! But yet Dombrowski's afraid to spend money? The Phillies should be ashamed of themselves. They should be absolutely ashamed, embarrassed, and if anyone is not taking them out to the woodshed, you should be embarrassed of yourself too, because this is pathetic. I mean, it's bad enough that Philadelphia sports fans got to deal with a Flyers team that has been an utter disappointment, a offseason with no baseball to talk about for months, a Sixers team that suffered through the Ben Simmons fiasco for months, and now the Phillies' answer is, well, Odubel Herrera and Matt Vierling are a good option for center field. Absolutely, positively ridiculous. Josh Hennig here. Game Night, 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. You can text in to join the conversation at 609-403-0973 is the text board, 609-403-0973. You also can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. Sixers back in action tonight. They were very fortunate. He's very, very fortunate that they got that win last night. I mean, that was an ugly game last night. I feel like the Sixers, they're mentally running on fumes. I'm starting to get the sense that this Sixers team has maybe kind of hit a ceiling emotionally and mentally. And I'm really glad that after the next couple of days are going on a longer road trip, I think they need to get away from Philadelphia. I think the team needs to hit the road, hit the mental reset button. They were very fortunate to win that game last night in overtime. And I can't wrap my head around the fact that this team could have lost to the Magic last night. The Magic are not a very good basketball team. But you know when Embiid's going to get up? He is going to get up for this game tonight because it's Jokic. He hasn't played him in 2 years. I'm excited to see what happens. Pre-game coverage, thanks to ESPN Radio, begins at 7 p.m. tonight on 97.3 ESPN FM. And then Tom McGinnis with the play-by-play starting at 7:30 here in your home for Sixers basketball in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN FM. We'll get to you guys' thoughts and comments a little bit later. 609-403-0973 is the text board. Keep the messages coming in. 609-403-0973. Coming up next, DraftKings Sportsbook Director Johnny Avello joins me to talk some basketball next here on 97.3 ESPN FM.
It's Sixers basketball tonight on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Powers down low and slams it. Get out of the way. Joel Embiid with a ferocious slam.
It's Sixers Nuggets. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Philadelphia 76ers basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN.
Hey, Coach, we need to score. What's the call? We're going to wing it. We're calling the pick.
The pick?
Yeah, the one, the only, the original Pick-a-Lily Inn to score some of South Jersey's best wings and homestyle favorites.
But, Coach, it's the middle of the game.
Pre-game, post-game, during the game, the pick's wings, tails, and ears are always the right call. They're right on Route 206 in Chemung, or check them out on Facebook. Now, who wants mild and who wants hot?
The Pick-a-Lily Inn.
20,000 bonus points, 18.99% variable APR, and a $32 statement credit when you spend $200 before your dog's 8th birthday.
Credit card ads have all sorts of numbers, but they mean nothing to you if you don't get approved. So here's Credit Karma's number, 66. Like members who shop on Credit Karma get approved 66% more often than the national average. Now that's a number you can rely on. Credit Karma. Applied with Karma Confidence.
Member approval rates in 2021, 66% higher than 2020 CFPB national average.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after a mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With the power, performance, and reliability your vehicle demands, Superstart batteries are designed for lasting performance and consistent starts. Turn the key with confidence. Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The NFL football season is over, and the winter of 2022 is coming to a close. We are rapidly moving toward 2 long-awaited dates. One, after February 26th, there are only 3 Saturdays left until spring, and on March 13th, we move our clocks ahead. Hi, Tom McAllister from McAllister the Service Company. These are annual milestones that set us on a path towards warmer weather and those hot summer days. Remember the end of last summer when you decided to put off upgrading your older, inefficient air conditioning system? Now's the perfect time to revisit that idea and take advantage of preseason discounts and also the rebates offered by the state and the utilities. Talk to the experts at McAllister at 609-927-4122 or at mcservice.com for all of your air conditioning and heating needs. McAllister, we cannot control the weather. We can control your comfort.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Straight Talk Wireless now has the new iPhone 13 with cinematic mode, which lets you focus on what matters. And with Straight Talk, you can focus on getting the best deal. Our Silver Unlimited plan is just $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. And it runs on the largest, most dependable networks, now with nationwide 5G. With the iPhone 13 on Straight Talk, you can share whatever you want, wherever you want. Straight Talk Wireless. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
The uh-ohs are out there. Scratches, dents, unexpected natural events. But with Mako and their magic, your car is no longer tragic. So when life throws you uh-ohs, Just say,
better get Mako.
and go to Mako.com to book your appointment today.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Why is it that every March, everyone's either a basketball bracketologist expert or 100% Irish? Not that there's anything wrong with the two. All you need to know this March is at Matt Blatt Kia in Egg Harbor Township or Toms River. If you have a job clearing $350 per week, you could be approved with 0 down, 0.9% financing for 60 months, or $1,000 cash back at Matt Blatt Kia on every clearly marked new Kia in stock. Stuck in a loan or lease? Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released. So bring any trade to Matt Blatt Kia, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And don't forget, you can't make a mistake with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy.
Gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
Offers with approved Tier 1 or 2 credit through Kia Motors Finance. Not all will qualify. $1,705 per $1,000 for 60 months. $1,000 off all 2022 stickers. Go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details. Expires 4/6/2022. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township. And now on Route 37 in Toms River.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig back here in the Matt Blatt Kia studios here on 97.3 ESPN FM. We'll get back to you guys' thoughts and comments in just a bit. Keep the messages coming in at 609-403-0973 is the text board, 609-403-0973. You can hear the entirety of the NCAA tournament right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. First four starts tomorrow night. Full NCAA tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all that and more. So we got a lot of basketball to get to. Sixers back in action tonight. The NBA is hot and heavy right now. So we get into all that and more right now. Joining me on the phone line, DraftKings Sportsbook Director, the one and only Johnny Avello joins me right here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM. Johnny, how you doing today?
Hey, Josh, I'm doing fabulous. Thanks a lot. Big tournament coming up, and baseball's back again soon. So everything going good in the sports world.
Absolutely. I appreciate you jumping back on the show again. I want to ask you first about the NBA because, when you look at the NBA right now, I feel like you can make an argument against every team in the Eastern Conference while simultaneously making an argument for every team in the Eastern Conference. I know in our area, the two main teams everyone are hot and heavy on are either the Nets or the Sixers, but the Bucks are still the defending champs. The Miami Heat look like a great team. The Celtics are blazing hot. What is your perspective on this Eastern Conference?
Well, you kind of said it. Where do you go here? The Nets are in the 8th spot. They've won a couple in a row now. They're flirting to be out of the playoffs. They're only a couple of games ahead of the Hawks and the Hornets. You look at the defending champ Bucks. They seem to be able to put it together when they can. The rest of the teams are unproven. The Bulls are certainly a resurgency this year. 76ers may have the pieces now. And the Heat, just a remarkable year overall. So, I think the championship goes through the West. You can win the East for sure. There's a bunch of teams can win it, including the Nets. We still have them in our top 3, even though they're 8th seed, because we know they're capable when they have all the right bodies on the floor that they can contend and win. But I think anybody from the East is going to have a rough time with, whoever wins the West.
I know a lot of people are looking at the Suns because of what they did last year, but I got to tell you, Johnny, I keep looking at the Warriors. Draymond Green's returning tonight, and I'm thinking, the Warriors, they can get really hot, and I think they may be the most dangerous team in the West here.
Well, Josh, they're already hot. They lost 22 games this year, and the Suns. If you go back and look at the Suns, remember that bubble year 2 years ago? I mean, they finished with 8 wins, didn't make the playoffs in that bubble. And ever since then, they've been just a tremendous team. Now, Paul certainly adds a lot to that. But I wouldn't disagree with you. I mean, the team I think is probably overachieved. It's playing best ball right now is probably the Grizzlies. I mean, they're just, they've moved up and actually passed the Warriors in the Western Conference. I don't know if that'll last, but anyway, they're also a team to contend now too.
Johnny, also in our area, one of the topics everyone likes to talk about, MVP. Joel Embiid's had a phenomenal season, but if someone goes over the DraftKings right now, Joel Embiid is the favorite, but Jokic is right behind him at plus 170. We're going to see the two best big men in the NBA go head-to-head tonight.
Yeah, I was thinking, Josh, that when Harden joined the team, that could possibly take away from some of Embiid's stats for MVP, but that hasn't been the case. So he deservedly needs to be in that top spot. You're right. Jokic is there. The Greek's there too, and I think after that, there's quite a bit of falling off. I don't know if anybody else will, unless somebody gets really hot here during the end of the year. But I think it's those two on top with the Greek as an outside shot.
I know for me, and I'm a little biased. Anyone who listens to me knows Giannis is my favorite player in the NBA today. And I'm not nothing against Embiid. I get to see Embiid every night. I love him. I think he's great. But Giannis has a special place in my heart. Johnny, is there a guy in the NBA that, when you see that he's on TV, you got to stop what you're doing and watch him?
Well, I think that Steph Curry's like one of the really exciting guys to watch, as well as, a Booker. I just think these guys, the way they play the game and can shoot and do all the things makes it really exciting to watch those guys play. And that's why people go and pay for tickets to go to the games. I mean, you need players like that. I could tell you, Trae Young is a guy that I watched shoot once practicing. Those guys were out in Vegas here. It was the Olympic team time, and I watched that guy shoot for a half hour. He didn't miss a shot. So these guys are all tremendous players. Some of them are just a little bit more exciting to watch.
You mentioned earlier about the Harden trade. Did that trade surprise you? Do you feel like that it was something you maybe thought was going to happen? Because it's a split contingent in our area. There was people who were in our area saying all along, Morey's going for Harden. Yeah, another group of fans out here saying, trade Ben Simmons for a bag of basketballs. We don't care what we get.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen this year, maybe at the end of the year. So I was kind of surprised that it happened when it did. But Simmons just not happy there. So I guess that this was the move that made the most sense to, the Nets weren't going to keep Harden. And maybe this was a chance for the Nets to kind of improve, for future seasons. But no, I didn't see it coming, to be honest with you.
Johnny Avello, DraftKings Sportsbook Director, joining us right here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM. Johnny, let's flip it over to the college basketball, because I've been itching to talk about this since the brackets came out last night. And, when I look at these brackets, I'm no college basketball expert. I'm no savant or anything like that. But, to me, one of my favorite things about the tournament is the number one seeds are the one seeds. But I love to try to find a team or two or three that I'm like, okay, I want to see this team win. Not just because I pick them in my bracket, but because I enjoy watching them. So is there a team or two or three that you're excited to see play this week in the NCAA tournament?
Well, I love college basketball. And so I'm excited about the entire tournament. I think a couple of matchups are kind of intriguing to me. We'll see how they go. Vermont, a lot of people don't hear about Vermont, but they had a great season. They're playing Arkansas in the first game. That's a very, very tough matchup for Arkansas. That's not the kind of team you want to meet in the first round. I think the Murray State, San Francisco, a couple of teams that don't get watched too much, although, San Francisco to the WCC. So, you hear a lot about Gonzaga, you hear a little bit about St. Mary's, but you don't hear much about San Francisco.
Right.
But them and Murray State, that looks like that could be just a great game, and a winner of that maybe could surprise and win a few games. I think a team, when I look at the ones you mentioned that initially, I think the team that probably has the easiest road getting there is Kansas. When I look at that bracket, the first game is nothing. I don't think there's a number one seed that's going to lose in the first round. But after that, they play San Diego State, Creighton winner. And when you look at the whole bracket, the toughest teams in there are Iowa and Wisconsin and USC and Auburn. And I think, they can handle all those. Whereas the other brackets, the Southwest and the East, they're all a little bit tougher. So sometimes it's all about the draw. That doesn't mean they can't lose somewhere along the line. It's just that you always like to have the easier path to get there.
One of the teams that's, the marquee names of the tournament over the years has been Kentucky. And Oscar Tshiebwe is just a special player to watch. And, I feel like, I'm one of those people that I keep looking at Kentucky and I'm like, there's a part of me that just wants to ride them all the way to the Final Four here.
Yeah, I don't blame you doing something like that. I mean, they didn't play well in that final, but the team they played against is just playing extremely well to end the season. Tennessee's just been on a great run, winning probably I'd say 9, probably more than that, probably 11 out of the last 12 or 13. I mean, just a great finish to the season. Kentucky. They're big favorite in this first game against St. Peter's, so that would be shocking if they lost that game, and I doubt it. But then they do match up against that San Francisco Murray State winner, so that could be quite a game for Kentucky. It doesn't, regardless of who they match. I think Murray State might be the tougher matchup for them, though, out of the two.
We saw Virginia Tech win the ACC. Coach K's final season is getting ruined left and right. Final home game, loses to North Carolina. Final ACC tournament, loses to Virginia Tech. So can this Virginia Tech team make some noise here?
I think so. This first game, they're a 1-point underdog to Texas. The winner of that, I think, plays Purdue-Yale. That's also a tough game, but I think they're a good, I think they're a solid team. I think they've been playing really good lately. Yeah, noise, get by the first one, it means noise, right? The first one's just a little bit of a sound, but to make noise, you got to get by that first one and then beat a heavyweight.
Johnny, the other team I'm curious about in this tournament, and, in our area, there's a lot of Villanova fans in our area. And, Villanova has not been lights out this year, but they've been good. They won the Big East. They're on that side of the bracket, in the same bracket as the Arizona Wildcats, but on the opposite end. Can Villanova actually get through some of these roadblocks? I'm looking at their side. It's not easy. We mentioned Tennessee earlier. Michigan is still out there. Ohio State is on that side. So it's not like Villanova's got an easy road to get down there.
No, it's not easy, but Villanova's won the championship before. The coach knows how to win it. And then you could say, well, they had these special players when they won it. Well, special players, you start hearing about special players when you win it. And so I'd never discount this team. They got one of the finest coaches in college basketball. This team's capable of a lot. This first game against Delaware, I think they're a 15.5-point favorite. Don't know if they'll cover the 15, but I look for the W there. And then I think they match up against a Loyola, Ohio State, which both of those teams are certainly beatable for them. So I mean, the road's always difficult, Josh, to win the whole thing. I talked about an easy side for Kansas, but nothing's easy. You got to win 6 games against really good competition. In some cases, you got to win 7 games. If one of those outsiders won it, but it's never easy to get there. And the team that gets crowned is worthy of it because they've done all the right things to get to the top of the podium.
Johnny, one more I want to ask you about before I let you go. One of the first 4 games a lot of people are going to be focused on is that Rutgers Notre Dame game. Ron Harper Jr. playing for the Scarlet Knights. Notre Dame. There's a lot of Notre Dame fans in our area, especially for football. What do you think about that game? Because that game, we're going to have here on 97.3 ESPN. And I'm already starting to see people online and run into people who are taking sides already.
That game kind of interests me too. Rutgers is very, very tough competition all year. We put this game up yesterday as a pick. And the first bet that came in, and we put the way we did it yesterday is as soon as the brackets were announced, the regions, we put up the numbers. So we had all the numbers up for all the games in about 35 minutes. And we had guys firing on our app. Now, the first bet we took on that game was a guy bet $50,000 on Rutgers pick.
$50,000?
Yeah, we took many $50,000, $100,000 bets yesterday when we opened up. And so we went to Rutgers 1. But then today, now we're at Notre Dame 1 because the line swung back the other way, and we've taken money now on Notre Dame. So it's a tough call, but I think Notre Dame has their hands full here. This team will not go away in this game.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on the idea that someone has $50,000 to throw away on a Rutgers Notre Dame first 4 game, but
not really throwing it away, Josh. It's putting it up to double it. That's what they're trying to do.
Well, you know what I mean. Like to have that kind of disposable income is just listen, God bless that guy or woman or whoever it was. That's all I gotta say. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we have a lot of bettors like that. Actually, that's when tournament time comes. That's not a small bet, but there's going to be bets for 200, 300, 400,000 on these games, multiple bets. So we have big betting clientele.
Really quick, I wanted to ask you, I know I said this was going to be the last question, but you mentioned the app. What has been the biggest difference in your observation? You've worked out in Vegas for a long time. What has been the biggest difference with, the sports betting coming to Jersey and all the apps popping up? I mean, DraftKings at first it was only a couple of states. Now it's like 20 states. Now it's like, what has been the real difference for you? Because, for example, here in New Jersey, they had almost $11 billion bet in sports betting last year. So, I mean, a lot of people are jumping on these apps, whereas the brick and mortar going into the sports book, not as much anymore.
Yeah, well, there is a place for bricks and mortar. People like to gather together, especially for a tournament like this.
Mm-hmm.
That camaraderie of sitting around and cheering together for teams and games, talking to the ticket writers, who you like. And, there's something to be said for that. But the app is where the volume is, especially for us at DraftKings. I've been around a lot of apps. You're right. I started our first app at Wynn Las Vegas back, like 10 years ago. What separates the DraftKings app from everybody else's app is that we have a lot of content and it's easy to navigate, to find what you're looking for and to make that wager. It's easy to fund, it's easy to withdraw. And so that they're the things that make DraftKings a special app. And, like I said, content galore. If you're looking for something, if you're not looking for something, you're probably going to find it.
Yeah, the DraftKings app, and I'm not, I don't have a paid spokesmanship at this point with any of the apps, but I can say unbiasedly, the DraftKings app has the most user-friendly layout. It's the most easy to use. And you mentioned finding things. You can just jump in those pools sometimes you guys have and just, throw a couple thoughts in here. A lot of those pools are free. People can jump in.
They're free. We do those pools every day. Those pools range everything from what the weather is to, the Housewives show, Survivor, politics, and sporting events too. I would encourage people to play those because you do not even have to be in a legal jurisdiction to play in those pools. You can be anywhere because they are free and DraftKings puts up the money. But I would encourage people to play in those pools. Not everybody has, disposable income to gamble on games all the time. So this is a way to, for you to stay in action.
Absolutely. He's Johnny Avello, DraftKings Sportsbook Director, joined us right here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Johnny, appreciate you jumping on. Fun conversation today.
You're welcome, Josh. We'll talk again soon.
Josh Hennig here, hanging out with you in the Matt Black Kia Studios here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea City. We'll get back to your guys' thoughts and comments on the text board on the other side. Text board 609-403-0973 is the text board, 609-403-0973. Don't forget Sixers basketball pregame coverage starts at 7 p.m. And then Tom McGinnis on the call with all the play-by-play after 7:30 right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Your home for the Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, March Madness, the Super Bowl, and more right here on 97.3 ESPN FM.
He's in for the win!
The madness begins Thursday afternoon. Experience the madness of the NCAA Tournament only on 97.3 ESPN. All the buzzer beaters,
The drive to the rim,
all the upsets, and all the big moments. March Madness on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by
Resorts Casino Hotel, home to DraftKings Sportsbook. Visit resortsac.com.
Matt Flat Nissan is now open on the Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, next to Home Depot. Get out of that old car, truck, or SUV and into a brand new Nissan. The all-new Matt Flat Nissan on the Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, or visit us online, mattflatnissan.com.
Searching for fun ways to spend your tax return? Boats for cats. Oh, flotation devices for cats. Don't waste it all on something silly. Spend smarter with Straight Talk. Get our Silver Unlimited plan for $45 a month with unlimited high-speed data and 5 gigs of hotspot data on the nation's largest, most dependable networks with nationwide 5G. If you're looking to get the most out of your refund, your search ends here. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Warmer weather means more fun time outside, but it can also mean more bugs like fleas and ticks. So don't forget to help protect your pets with Frontline Plus for dogs and Frontline Plus for cats. It's easy to apply, kills fleas and ticks fast, and keeps working all month long. So you can enjoy the outdoors and your pets can get the protection they need. That's why Frontline is the #1 name in flea and tick protection. Trusted for over 20 years. Find out where to buy Frontline products at frontline.com today.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MILE for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code MILE to earn 25 cents a gallon or more on your first tank. That's code MILE.
East Coast Roofing and Siding, protecting what you love and own. East Coast Roofing and Siding, trust us with your family and home.
Hey there, South Jersey. This is Sean Steitler with East Coast Roofing, Siding, and Windows. Do you have a home project you've been pushing off? Does your house need a facelift? If so, you need to take advantage of our Economic Relief Rebate Program. For a limited time, we are offering no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus, when the job is complete, we will send you a rebate check for up to 15% of the cost. No payments until 2023 and money back in your pocket? You can't beat this deal. Call us today to schedule your free consultation. 609-625-1900. That's 609-625-1900. You can also visit our website at eastcoastroofing.com for more information.
East Coast Roofing and Siding, trust us with your family and home.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. It's also AutoZone's national hiring event. We're hiring all positions, from sales to warehouse and drivers, both part-time and full-time. Visit careers.autozone.com or any one of our stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
At Wendy's, March is madness. With our breakfast Baconator. Sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant. Both made with fresh cracked eggs. Or even a honey butter chicken biscuit. And we're just getting warmed up. Get 50% off the official breakfast of March Madness when you order through the Wendy's app. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
For a limited time at participating Wendy's via app offer only. Account registration required. No discount applies to taxes or fees. Not valid with any other offer.
With GMF financing, approved credit excludes Corvette. It's time for March markdowns at Bennett Chevrolet. All month long, Bennett's paying a minimum $8,000 for any trade. No joke. You'll get at least $8,000 for any old rundown rot box. Just get it here for a minimum $8,000 towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. But this special offer is only during March markdowns. Got a good trade? Bring it to Bennett. Hey, if we're paying a minimum $8,000 for junk, imagine how much more you'll get for a good quality trade. Looking for new? There's no beating Bennett. Because unlike other dealers, we're not selling over factory sticker. And there's 0% available financing. Plus, if you're stuck in a lease, bring it to Bennett. We can get you out early. Any make, any model. And remember, Bennett will buy yours even if you don't buy ours. Bring it in for a quick quote. No pressure or obligation. Just pure Bennett bliss. Because our non-commissioned sales staff is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. Game Night being brought to you by East Coast Roofing, Siding, and Windows. Serving all of South Jersey. If you call, they'll show up. Visit them online at eastcoastroofing.com. Also, our conversation with Johnny Avello from DraftKings being brought to you by AC Airport. Cold weather got you down. Forget the snow boots. You needed them this weekend. There's snow on the ground, for goodness sake. This weekend, pack your swimsuit. Atlantic City International Airport offers nonstop flights to Cancun, as well as San Juan and Miami. Book your flight today at spirit.com. Get some of you guys' thoughts and comments here. 609-403-0973 is the text board. I have 2 texts here. I got to read them. They're 2 completely different perspectives on the Phillies stuff. So, first text I'll get to is Texas patience, Josh. Adubel is a league average hitter. They just paid $1.2 million to. He's an above average center fielder too. There's a 5th outfielder making triple that this year. Considering the current center fielder market, it wasn't a bad move. They're working on a Matt Chapman trade and are still in the running for Bryant. You need to be patient. Well, first of all, the Matt Chapman stuff I've heard is more rumor than it is actual, like, legitimate. I haven't seen anybody overtly reporting that that Matt Chapman is in the works. Okay. Conversation I keep seeing out there is that the A's want a huge return if there is a trade. Okay. What I'm understanding is that all the reports I've heard and seen is that basically Chapman is going to go to the highest bidder. Okay. Nothing specific. Okay. The only thing I've heard is when Ken Rosenthal said that the Phillies would like Matt Chapman. They're interested. Well, anybody with half a brain is interested in Matt Chapman. He's arguably not the best, one of the best third basemen in all of baseball. The Chris Bryant thing is what bothers me, honestly, Texter, because we heard for so long about the potential of Chris Bryant because of his friendship with Bryce Harper and all that stuff. But it's like, what are we being patient for? You know, people already had a report to spring training. You know, you only have 3 weeks till the start of the season. What are we being patient about? And honestly, if you have a chance to get Kevin Kiermaier and you elected to go get a Double Herrera and have him platoon with Matt Vierling, that's a disservice to me. Now, look, if they walk out of this offseason with Chapman and or Bryant, I'd be thrilled. I would be thrilled, and I will give Dombrowski his props and his flowers and his credit and the whole 9 yards. But until he does something like that, I just gotta disrespect him. Especially when the reports out that the Phillies don't want to spend too much money 3 years after John Middleton said they're going to spend stupid money to win. Well, now you have a chance to actually win, and you won't spend the money. Yeah, it's bad luck. Another text comes in. Dan from EHT says if Odubel Herrera bats leadoff for the Phillies again, they should be fined for tanking. I don't have a fine for tanking, but here's the problem, Dan EHT. When you look at what's going on with the Phillies, I think their problem isn't about Odubel Herrera hitting leadoff. The problem is that their franchise is tone deaf. See, my problem with Herrera is at some point, don't the Phillies understand that nobody in the fan base wants this guy? This guy is the most undesirable player out there that they could have had. And it just feels like such a mess. Like, why did you have to bring this guy back? Why was he the best option? Why is that reasonable? I just don't get it. I think that you could have done better. If you could have had Kevin Kiermaier, why didn't you just get Kevin Kiermaier? I mean, unless Kiermaier was asking for like a stupid, silly, expensive contract, which I don't know, and neither do you. I only know what I hear and what I read and what I see. I'm not in the middle of these conversations. Are the Phillies maybe saving money to sign Bryant or go after Matt Chapman? Maybe. But at some point, the Phillies got to do something. Because as they're currently constructed, it's just unacceptable. All right, coming up tonight on 97.3 ESPN, you have Embiid versus Jokic going head to head. I think Embiid's going to show up big for this game. I think you can take the over on points for Embiid tonight because I think he'll want to go out there and show out against Jokic and the Nuggets. I can't promise you the Sixers are going to win the game, but I think Embiid is going to score a lot of points. The Sixers are probably going to be tired coming off of a back-to-back. I'm not 100% sure what the Nuggets are going to be like because the Nuggets are the strangest team in the league right now. I feel like on a night-to-night basis, you don't know what you're getting from half of that roster. I've watched some Nugget games this year, and I'm thinking, how has this team only scored, for example, 40-some points in the first half or whatever the scenario might be? I've watched their games, and it's like, I feel like their coach, Malone, he's just sometimes sitting there, he's going to look on his face like, how did I end up with this roster? Is anybody coming back from injury? Just poor guy. I feel for him. And the guy's done an incredible job, making, lemonade from lemons at this point out there in Denver. But I expect Embiid to have a big game against Jokic. You hear all the coverage coming up next. Pre-game coverage in about 6 minutes from now, and then Tom McGinnis on the call in about, around 7:31. I guess you'll hear Tom McGinnis pop onto the airwaves right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Thanks again to Johnny Avello from DraftKings Sportsbook for joining the conversation today. Thanks to all of you for joining the conversation, all you guys who texted, all you guys who listened. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow right here on 97.3 ESPN FM.